The Roman Civil War. Julius Caesar knew he had to march on Rome itself, which no legion was permitted to do. Marcus Lucanus left us a chronicle of what happened.
Well, we failed a lot longer than I thought we would, so that's good.
How swiftly Caesar had surmounted the icy Alps, and in his mind conceived immense upheavals of coming war. When he reached the water of the little Rubicon, clearly to the leader through the murky night appeared a mighty image of his country in distress. Grief in her face, her white hair streaming from her tower-crowned head. With tresses torn and shoulders bare, she stood before him and sighing said, "Where further do you march? Where do you take my standards, warriors? If lawfully you come, if as citizens, this far only is allowed." Then trembling struck the leader's limbs, his hair grew stiff, and weakness checked his progress, holding his feet at the river's edge. At last he speaks. "O Thunderer, surveying great Rome's walls from the Tarpeian rock, O Phrygian house gods of Iulus, clan and mysteries of Quirinus, who was carried off to heaven, O Jupiter of Latium, seated in lofty Elder and hearths of Vesta, O Rome, equal to the highest deity, favor my plans. Not with impious weapons do I pursue you. Here am I, Caesar, conqueror of land and sea, your own soldier everywhere. Now, too, if I am permitted. The man who makes me your enemy, it is he, will be the guilty one." Then he broke the barriers of war and through the swollen river swiftly took his standards. And Caesar crossed the flood and reached the opposite bank. From Hesperia's forbidden fields, he took his stand and said, "Here I abandon peace and desecrated law. Fortune, it is you I follow. Farewell to treaties. From now on, war is our judge." Hail, Caesar. We who are about to die salute you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is General Anthony signing back in after this little composition of some machine gun footage. Yeah, and I'm gonna be in this feature series. I want to put out a warning first. This is gonna be extremely tactical. I'm gonna go over some tactical discussions and some tactical mindset I always keep in mind, and some tactics that you as a new player has to be aware of. And this video series is gonna be minded at both experienced players and new players. And this is gonna be a whole feature series where I'm gonna go over different kinds of tactics, different kind of tactical discussions, and tactics and basics. So I'm gonna divide this up into some parts. Of course. So yeah, this is a warning for you guys. I'm gonna make perhaps 5 or 6 videos where I'm gonna discuss different things. This time we're gonna start off by discussing tactical positioning and the attack. Not kind of the attack, but just most of all the tactical positioning. Why to use tactics. The first picture you're showing right here is kind of, and I'm using Pablo's house as a backdrop. So what I'm showing you here is what you in the old days just call a slaughter fest. Simply, you see, I used the template from the my Pavlos house tactical discussion. I'm going to be linking that old one, the Pavlos tactical discussion, in the text below. But as you see, the Russians spawn up in the top, the Germans spawn down in the bottom, and both teams just run straight out at each other. And just slug it out, as you see with the arrow. And the human race, as warfare developed, humans started by doing stuff like that in the beginning, just running at each other on a large scale and just hacking and slashing each other's. And pretty much soon people found out that that wasn't the best idea to to kind of attack each other like that. So the human race started evolving tactics, you know, how to position yourself, what to do. And one of the most basic tactics in the world is getting yourself into a position where the enemy are going to be forced to attack you. Like on this map, Pavlov's house. You see, the winning factor on Pavlov's house is the C building. If you hold the C building, you win, as the Russians. If you hold the C building, you win. So what I'm going to be discussing now is, you know, what to do in a tactical sense. And one of my primary things you always got taught in tactic is, if you are able to present yourself in a position where the enemy are going to have to attack you, you're going to be able to be fighting from a defensive position, and it's shown all out through history. Robert E. Lee, during the American Civil War, was an excellent tactician. The Army of Northern Virginia had a tactical stand that said, always fight from a defensive position. And that means you put yourself in a position where the enemies are forced to attack you, like the Confederate Army at Fredericksburg, where the Union Army, both due to politics-wise and due to economic pressure from back home, were forced to attack the rebels at a dug-in position at Fredericksburg, and they got slaughtered. Like Julius Caesar at Elysium, where he surrounded Vercingetorix, and the relieving force were forced to attack Caesar in a defensive position, and he was able to defeat a much larger force. You're able always to be more effective on the defense. And you even see today with the NATO forces in Afghanistan, you place yourself in a position in an area where you know the enemy cannot tolerate you being there, so they will attack you. This is what I'm showing you right here, ladies and gentlemen. I am showing you the killing zones. You see, if you take up a defensive position in D building, like I show you with the chalk marks, the marks, defensive positions there, and of course RD mark number 1, RD mark number 2, and then you see in C building, the triangle is of course the tank. So the orange squares are their killing fields. If you place yourself in this position, the German team is forced to attack you, and you see those railroad cars, the Germans are going to be stacking up against them, and you have suddenly, guys, forced the enemy into a position wherein the enemy is forced to attack you, and by putting yourself in that position, the enemy will be destroyed. It's so difficult for an enemy to attack a defended partition like this, where they're forced to attack. You got them out in the open, and you will be able to destroy them. That is shown all out through history, that the offensive use of defensive positions are one of the most effective tools to any commander's disposal. So yeah, guys, this was this quick tactical video with General Anthony C.H. Molchet. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope it wasn't too boring. And I'm going to be featuring more of this, guys. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments. Please comment, rate, and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. And I just want to say welcome to all the noobs of Red Orchestra. Hope you found this this entertaining. Bye bye.